Hi, welcome back. I'm here with Mr. Michael Guerra. Just to a little background on him again. He's a seventh grade math teacher at Spring Middle School. And last time we were discussing one of the challenges when it comes to technology integration was differentiation in their math classroom with technology. And today in coaching section number two, I kind of did some research and I developed some quick strategies and maybe tools for him to always refer back to and just kind of see what's going to help him at that moment in time. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Give me
Okay.
1 second. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Put this down here. So this is a quick Genially. I don't know if you've seen it before. It's kind of interactive, but some things are already linked to certain things, so you could just click on it and
Oh,
it'll
okay.
take you to a certain strategy or a video that I provided for you. So again, so just to start, this is consider an education individualized tech plan.
Hmm.
Again, our challenge that we're addressing is differentiation, basically using real-time data to properly identify student needs and provide personalized supplemental support. So that's one
Hmm.
of the things that we discussed last time, that we do have data, but what do we do with it afterwards and kind of just make it more, um, getting more bang for our buck when it comes to technology and math.
Okay.
So just a quick intro. Again, I am Guadalupe Camacho. I'll be your ed tech coach. Again, we're addressing differentiation with technology. We're currently trying to we're currently making adjustment to blended learning, so we want to make it more than one size fits approach.
Hmm.
Technology, it is implemented daily. We kind of discussed that, but it just became more of doing assignments in the computer.
Yeah.
And the goal is to provide differentiated lessons with technology, essentially to help grow students in math. Using our data, using what we collect, using that technology, so students can eventually show growth at the end of the school year. So before we even start, when I was doing my research, I came across this article where it was basically mentioning the non-negotiables, which is the four E's. So we have
Hmm.
equitable. So these are some sort of questions to ask yourself. Does the use of certain technology promote equitable opportunities without adding additional barriers? So are we using technology for our advantage, or are we just making more stuff complicated?
Hmm.
Efficient, do we use energy or resources? Are we really using our resource to the max, using computers instead of printing a piece of paper? Is it effective? Does the technology make learning more effective for all or some students? Is it just effective for the kids that know how to use the technology well, or is it effective for everybody? And then the last one, is it engaging? Does technology stimulate student attention and motivation? Again, I can't, addresses the issue of it's just another math assignment on the computer. So at the end of the day, is this engages what I'm doing engaging? So I those one of those things that I want you to consider whenever you're kind of get stuck with this problem. These four E's, like, am I doing this? Does it have a purpose? Is it engaging?
Hmm.
Is it gonna actually help my students? So this is what I'm a non-negotiable in my opinion. So for the purpose and the intent, obviously the outcome, how can differentiation be applied with technology integration? So I kind of narrowed it down to three different things, and it goes back to my the tutorial or the video, I'm sorry, and the strategies that I included in the next slide. So the first one would
Hmm.
be accessibility is always in the front run. So always customizing resources, making it accessible, and creating multiple versions, for our maybe our sped students or our regular students or our
Hmm.
GT students, having multiple versions. But with that, number two, narrow down resources and assignments to differentiate for student gain for most to get the most out of the implementation. So meaning we're not just going to do this for every assignment. We want to do this with a assignment that we're going to get more bang for our buck for our students. So are they
Hmm.
going to learn the most for it if we do all these accessibility changes? Creating multiple version, having all these customizing resources. Which assignment do we actually have to spend time doing all those things? So that's why it's not just we're doing this for every little thing.
Yeah.
It's which one is going to make sure we get the most out of it. And
Yeah.
then the last one is just more like us reframing or rethinking our mindset as teachers, just rethinking the traditional way we do things and kind of shifting them with technology integration. I found a really good website where if you have you're struggling with this thing, this is how you can make it technology. So I'll share that
Okay.
in the next slide. But
Cool.
so far, do we have any questions of what we've been talking about or
No, I like your second point where it says like narrow down the resources or assignments. That way we're kind of being more like intentional on what we are actually going to use this technology for, like you said, to get more bang out of your buck. We're not wasting our time trying to just put everything online. So I really think that that's a good point there.
right? So that was the main focus on my research. Because we can't do this for everything. We don't have the
Of
time,
course.
and sometimes we don't have the resources, especially now that we have stuff that we had to pay for.
Hmm.
So which one of these assignments, which one of these resources actually going to help my students? And that's
Hmm.
how I'm approaching a lot of this implementation. Which one is going to help us the most? So going to the next slide, I provided just three things to kind of address those things. They go with each other, the first one, second, and third. So the first one is a helpful video from webinar. So I'm just gonna click on it. And I kind of already framed it to 9 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that, because that's where she starts to explain about the how you can customize your resources with everything. One second.
Shop in store or online today.
Oh,
With Revolut, you can grow your money faster with up to 5.5% APY and send it to over 140 countries.
so
All right.
we
Let's
have
talk a
this
little bit about how
lady
you can
in
easily customize resources.
Wave
I could go into like
Wayground.
the four.
She kind of just explains how to customize 4 ways to customize any resource or assignment that you really want to make sure students can have the chance to actually do it and utilize it and
Hmm.
actually learn from it. So I kind of framed it to that time set. And then I have this one. This is a good article of how to use technology to differentiate instruction in the classroom. So this kind of goes back to using our data because we talked about that last session that, yeah, we
Yeah.
have our data from IXL or whatever, or tests, Schoology, we're talking about that. But how can we utilize that data and technology to help our students? So here, just an example, technology needs to deep domain knowledge to differentiate. So we need to know what we're talking about
Hmm.
so for our students to learn. And then one of the solutions can be technology can provide domain maps and potential learning pathways, which is
I
IXL
like that.
essentially. And this is just a few things that can help you just kind of shift that mindset from going to traditional differentiation to, okay, now I'm going to implement technology for my
Hmm.
students to actually have maybe that growth, since we do have to implement technology for everything these days.
Yeah.
So that's the
Hmm.
second one. And then the third one, you could just click on it. This one, again, is kind of similar to the other one, but this one kind of narrows it down. So for instance, I really like the first one. So right here, one size fits all grouping. The old approach is long term, ability based groups, so high, medium, low kids, and a table. And then
Hmm.
it kind of explains why this mindset or this way of doing things kind of, doesn't work these days. And there's a way that we can revamp it, which is using performance data. Again, IXL, how are we going to group our kids based on that data that we got from IXL and so
Hmm.
forth. Also, like if there are some stuff just generally works on paper, and we know that, especially in math class. Um,
Yep.
how can you implement it with technology? We have weekly quizzes or end of units. Again, I think this goes back to using Schoology and using our data from Schoology. It's able to break it down. It's stuff
Hmm.
like that. You can always just kind of see what kind of thing you're considering or having a challenge with, and see how you can revamp it or make it more technology based. So that's a really good website that I found, or a good article that really broke things down. And I think that's going to be more helpful than actually researching or kind of thinking about what can I do.
Yeah.
That's the third one. And next up, I just some research highlights on each one of these documents. I did read through all of it, and I kind of just pinpointed what was, good about this. So for the first
Hmm.
one, kind of just mentioning like digital and blended learning programs that rely on evidence maps. So going back to that data does help when it comes to technology. We can always use that data to group our kids to make sure we're using technology accordingly or using the right resources or assignments. Again, kind of going back to what I said earlier, narrowing down resources and assignments that will help our students.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And then the next one that I found that was interesting. So by leveraging modern tools, educators can streamline their workflow while creating responsive, personalized learning. Again, kind of with the thing with math, since you have IXL, you can always personalize or assign lessons to based on other kids' needs. Some kids are more advanced than others, so you
Hmm.
can always personalize, and that's the good thing about technology. And then the last thing that I found interesting was recognizing that even digital technologies we might think as belong to the same class or category are distant. So I think one example that I found about this is though we love Canva, we use Canva, um, does it really serve the purpose for our students?
Hmm.
Canva is really just a presentation tool, but does it really help our students? And I think that's one of those things that we don't just want to consider stuff websites like Canva to be considered our differentiation. We got to
Yeah.
think about deeper and think about what's going to benefit our students with what we're presenting or what we're doing with technology. And that's pretty much it. This is just my references. So
Hmm.
at this point, do you have any questions or maybe concerns or something you would like to add to, what I just presented to you regarding differentiation?
No, I think it was great. I think a lot of it gave like a problem that we might be having, but then it also gave a good what's the word I'm looking for? How to fix the problem or move forward and use that technology piece. I really like that. I think that's going to be very helpful going forward. So I can kind of refer. Maybe I'm having a similar problem or anything like that, and just adding these tools to my toolbox. To go forward and not like we said before, everything is just okay, here's this online assignment, go do it so I can easily get a grade and put it in the grade book. No, like let's be more intentional about what we're doing. So I think this is going to be really helpful.
Right, yes. I'm glad to hear that. And yes, my goal was for it to be intentional because as teachers, we don't have the time to just be
Hmm.
sitting around and playing with this tool or let's see if this one works and then we just wasted our instructional time. So
Hmm.
it was very intentional, like, hey, this is gonna work for my kids every time, or this is gonna actually benefit my kids every time. Like I said, rather than just testing it out and seeing if it worked or seeing if it was a good idea to do at the time.
Hmm.
So yes, that was the whole purpose of my research. Is it gonna help the mentee you, or is it going to
Hmm.
help our students?
Hmm.
Well, if you don't have any other further questions and concerns, I would definitely share this presentation with you so you can have it in
Yes,
your toolbox, as you mentioned. And you can always, ask me questions regarding, hey, I'm having this issue. How can we do this? And I think
definitely, definitely.
so. I'm here for that, so we can always brainstorm and kind of, you know, utilize what we have as well
Hmm.
and actually get something out of it for our students. Like I said, I think ultimately that's what we want to do, make sure our students
Yes.
are growing in math.
Yeah,
So
I like that.
yes, thank you. So if there's no other further questions, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording right now. Is that
Okay.
good?
It's good for me.
Okay, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.